Are you ready? Because we're going 5 pounds down every 4 weeks in 2022. And today I've got a great full body workout for you. Grab your moderate dumbbells and let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. Have your dumbbells completely out of the way and let's get started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B, your best middle-aged fitness friend, and around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And you know what really feels like self-love? I know you do. It's losing weight with the 5-0 method, where every day we do 5 things that make you say, oh, I had no idea that losing weight at this age could be so simple. You guys, every single day we do the same 5 things. We eat the right number of calories, which is not necessarily less than you were eating before. We drink the right amount of water, which is half your body weight in pounds in fluid ounces of water. We get the right amount of sleep by going to bed at the same time every night, getting up at the same time every morning, and not worrying too much about how much in between that was actual sleep. Let's go ahead and do some arm crosses with booty kickers. We also exercise moderately every single day, which is not necessarily more than you were doing before. And the best thing of all, we manage our minds by finding our thoughts and deciding if they're helpful. And I have a helpful thought for you today that may or may not feel helpful, like all of them. And the way you decide is you say the thought to yourself and you really pay attention. How does this make me feel? If you feel good, it's a good thought. It's helpful. If you feel, I don't know about that, skeptical, angry, upset, unhappy, whatever that doesn't feel good, and my friends, it's not a helpful thought for you, and you can feel free to discard it and not use it. Today's helpful thought is, I know what's right for me. I'm going to give you a second to absorb that because I know some of you are instantly like, absolutely no, I don't. That's why I'm here, Paula. I need some help. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. Here's the thing though. The alternative to I know what's right for me is I don't know what's right for me, which I think kind of automatically feels disempowering. I think automatically puts you in a place of thinking that you don't know, that you can't figure it out, that you couldn't possibly ever know. Whereas I know what's right for me, or something very similar, I'm learning to know what's right for me. How about that one? I like that one a lot too, actually. You guys, here's what's right for you today. It's what I'm telling you. I've got a great metcon for us, which is just a fancy way of saying metabolic conditioning, which is a fancy way of saying that we've got cardio and strength with absolutely no rest. I've got the handy dandy gym boss here. Sit for intervals of 20 seconds of cardio and 40 seconds of strength and no rest at all. And that is very fast paced, but don't let that fool you into thinking that we have to be fast moving. We're gonna go ahead and get started with some low swinging tappers, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're just tapping from side to side, right like this. And when we change into our strength, we're going to change from, relatively fast moving into slow moving, thinking about our core, thinking about things kind of strength. We're doing squat presses. And I want you to know that if it takes you a couple of seconds to grab your dumbbells, don't worry about it. We're not spending any time worrying about today's exercises. We are spending time doing what we can because you know what's right for you is to get through the workout and to feel amazing about it. And sometimes that means that you miss a couple reps. Sometimes that means that it takes you longer. Sometimes it means that you're moving slower or faster or differently or making modifications. It means that you are making the workout work for you. When it beeps again, we're coming back to those low swinging tappers. And I do encourage you to have your weights someplace very convenient, like, Blossom's chair right over here. So that, because we are picking them up and putting them down and picking them up and putting them down so much, here we come back into those low swinging tappers, that you can pick them up and put them down relatively quickly. Now, if you don't have a nice low table next to you or anything like that, put them down on the ground and get some extra squat practice. I know. You know what's right for you. I'm just making a suggestion. Here we go with those squat presses for the second and final time. This is I guess you would call it a repeating no repeat, because we're doing each pair of exercises, each cardio and strength pair, twice in a row, and then we're moving on and not coming back to it. So when it beeps again, of course, we're going to put these dumbbells down. We're coming back to cardio. We're going to do Drinky bird jacks. I know that's literally everybody's favorite, right? I know, it's maybe not. Your hands are doing jumping jacks. Your lower body is doing Drinky birds, which is a fancy way of saying a single leg deadlift. Gonna pick up one leg back behind you while pulling in your core, of course. Even for cardio, we're thinking about excellent form. Here's the thing about Drinky Bird jacks. I know they're not fun, except that they are. I love Drinky Bird jacks. That's actually kind of why I got them over with early in our workout today. You guys, when it beeps again, oh golly, I knew that was gonna happen too. Every single time, I gotta turn more sideways when I'm doing anything where I kick out back behind me. When it beeps again, we're picking up those dumbbells and we're doing peekaboos. Pull in your core, nice and tight. Feet about hip width apart, elbows about shoulder height, elbows together, elbows apart. As your elbows are together or apart, you're thinking when they're together about squeezing from your pectoralis muscles in the front. When they're pulling apart, you're thinking about squeezing from your big muscles in your back, using those shoulder blades to pull those muscles back. If you'd like to keep this a little bit lower, you can keep it a little bit lower. If you want to drop your weights, my friend. You know what's right for you. When you think that you don't know what's right for you, which I sometimes do. I mean, I'll be honest. One of the biggest mindset hurdles I have had on my way, here we come back to those Drinky Bird jacks. I'm gonna turn this way this time. One of the biggest mindset hurdles that I have had in my working on my mindset time is that I often think I don't know how to do something. Oh, I want to be famous on YouTube, but I don't know how. Oh, I want to start, a membership group. I don't know how. I want to write a book. I don't know how. Here we come back to those peekaboos. I don't know how is not the same thing as I don't know what's right for me. Even though I did not know how to write a book, I knew what was right for me in terms of I know how to carve out time for myself. I know how to think about what I want to do with my life. I knew I was smart enough to hire a coach. I'll be honest, I didn't know how to write a book. I still am thinking, I don't know exactly how this is going to get done, but I know how to ask for help. I know where to go to ask for help. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing letter Ks. Gonna have hands up overhead. Dumbbells will be down on the chair or the table or wherever you have them. We're gonna make the letter K on one side, which is not that side, and the letter K over there. Letter K and not letter K, which I said backwards, but you know what I'm saying. You know, letter K and not letter K is my favorite. When it beeps again, we're only gonna grab one dumbbell, and we are doing X marks the spot. We're creating a large X right in front of us. We're going from one shoulder with the weight and chopping it down to the opposite hip. The thing about X marks the spot, this is actually an abdominal exercise. It means you've got your core pulled in nice and tight. Yeah, we're moving our arms, but actually our abs are really doing all the work here. My friend, the thing about knowing what's right for you is that it's not necessarily prescriptive in terms of you don't have to know the right thing to do. You can ask for help. Please do. In fact, Google exists for this exact reason. I exist to help you figure out like what kinds of exercises, how much, what kind of calories to eat, those kinds of things. Like you can have help. Here we come back to those letter Ks. However, getting that prescriptive advice from somebody and then applying it in your life, that's where I'm talking about I know what's right for me. When you take somebody else's advice, and please do, ask for help, but when you apply it to yourself, here we go with those X marks the spot, second and final time, you get to trust yourself. You get to trust your instincts. You get to figure out, how do I make this work for me? Not just do what they say to do and then, for example, everything I've ever done in my life, get frustrated because it doesn't work, because I haven't spent the time thinking about how I want to make it work for me. When it beeps again, we're doing shooting stars, which means we're putting down our dumbbell here. Oh my gosh, I'm really thinking about pulling in that core. Having your dumbbell down, we're going to come back to cardio, and we're going to be leaning to one side while kicking out the opposite foot. This is cardio, so we're taking it as quickly as you can handle. You know what's right for you. And this is perhaps the magic sauce. When it beeps again, we're doing split stance flies. And because we're going to do this pair twice, it really doesn't matter which foot you put forward. Just think about it right now so you know which one's which. I'm going to put my left foot forward so that I can get that over with. And then we're going to fly. Have those dumbbells facing, your palms facing each other, and then as they come up, palms facing the ground. I got asked somewhat recently whether or not your back foot should be up off the ground or if it should be flat on the ground. Totally depends on what works best for you. You know what's right for you. For me, this is slightly more challenging. That's why I like to do that. Also, I'm not super flexible enough to put my foot down. So for me, it's both a convenience and a challenge. You get to choose what feels best and right for you. As long as you are not injuring yourself, the way you do things is right. Let's go ahead and put those down. Coming back to those shooting stars. Tipping one way, tipping the other. A little bit of balance work, a little bit of core work in here, even with our cardio, having one hand overhead at a time, bringing that heart rate up to a nice moderate heart rate today, my friends. You know what's right for you. You might be able to go a little faster, go a little harder, do a little more, but is that right for you in the long run? Is that going to feel good tomorrow? You're going to be able to do this exact workout or something very similar tomorrow? That's how you know. That's how you learn to trust that you know what's right for you, by looking for patterns. When it beeps again, going to put those dumbbells down, of course. Coming back to cardio as we do. We're going to do double knees, hands up overhead. That's going to bring your heart rate up. So move at a pace that works for you. Having your hands come to one knee 2 times in a row on one side, and then 2 times in a row on the other side. Whoo, all right. Here we go, hands up, and double knees on one side, double knees on the other. When it beeps again, we're going to grab one dumbbell, going to do triangles, and actually you can help yourself to having both dumbbells. I was just thinking about this. Really depends on how you like to do them. I'm actually only going to have the dumbbell up overhead. I know, a little bit weird, right? But this way you can really focus on your form. Having that one dumbbell up overhead, rolling your hand right down the side, using your hip, jutting it out, and then swapping overhead. Yeah, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of a different challenge. You can help yourself if that feels right to you. That feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right to you, then don't do it, my friends. You know. And doesn't it feel good, truly? Doesn't it feel good to think that? I find that thought to be very empowering. Once I got past the initial kind of skepticism of, like, the first time I have lots of thoughts, by the way, here we come back to those double knees. I have lots of thoughts that end up being very helpful, that don't necessarily sound helpful the first time I hear them, because truly, the first thing that my brain offers me almost every time I think anything is self-doubt and skepticism. Here we go with those triangles for the second and final time. My brain doesn't know how much I know. My brain has spent years offering me that I'm pretty stupid. That's one of my very unhelpful thoughts that I have very frequently. I hear it now and I understand that it's just an automatic thought. Your brain offers you thoughts that aren't helpful, and it's completely okay to kind of dissect them and ask yourself whether or not that's going to get you where you want to go. Speaking of where we want to go, when it beeps again, we're going to put this dumbbell down and we're doing cross back jacks. You do not have to do a full curtsy lunge. I'm not going to. I am going to step quite a bit forward though, so I don't kick anything while we're doing this. You're stepping back behind you in the opposite direction. Your arms are doing jumping jacks. When it beeps again, we're going to do deadlifts. Going to grab both of those dumbbells. Going to really think about having a nice pulled in core, nice straight back. As you tip forward, you're thinking about your booty doing this work. Your hips pushing behind you. It's what's bringing your torso forward. As your hips come back underneath your shoulders, well, your torso is very naturally going to stand up too. I do like to take that extra half a second at the top to rotate my shoulder blades back and down, remind myself of excellent posture. You can take your time doing what works for you, because you know, my friends. I know that 40 seconds is not a long time to be doing any of these exercises, and that is really the magic here. Here we go back with those cross back jacks, or even the 20 seconds that we're doing the cardio. This is not about burning yourself out. This is not about doing so much work that you're going to be sore tomorrow, so much work that of course you'll lose weight faster. My friends, the fastest way to lose weight isn't to do more, it's to do the right amount, and you know what that is. Here we go with those deadlifts. And the way to know is to ask for help and pay attention. Honestly, knowing what's right for you isn't always about only trusting your instincts or just doing things willy-nilly, because that was the other thing that I used to do when I first had this helpful thought, and it was still kind of unhelpful because I was very skeptical. I thought it meant that I could just do anything that my brain offered me. By the way, when it beeps again, we're doing reach across. It's exactly what it sounds like. You're literally just going to reach across in front of you. It's It's cardio, so we're gonna move relatively quickly, relative to not moving quickly. But we're gonna reach across and tap out on the other side. And then when it beeps again, gonna grab those dumbbells. We're gonna do wide open side kicks. Another one where we've got our hands, or rather our elbows at shoulder height. So you get to decide. If this is something that feels especially tough for you, either drop your weights completely or grab lighter weights. You know what's right for you. Wide open side kicks. And this one, I do actually like to keep my elbows a little bit soft. I find that if I open up too far, that my elbow joints take on a little bit too much of this work. I want to make sure that this work stays in my muscles rather than my joints. Your joints will take on work if they feel they need to, and I know you've felt that before. Your joints will absolutely try to absorb some of the work if we aren't asking our muscles to do it. One of the ways you can ask your muscles to work is by not locking your joints in that open position. Here we come back to that reach across, put your dumbbells down, reach across and reach across. I thought for sure that having the dumbbells up and down all day would totally wake Blossom up. I know you can't hear it, but she is snoring on the chair next to me. She's waking up a little bit, like I can tell I'm disturbing her. Poor thing, you know, disturbing her beauty sleep. But she is racked out. Here we go with those wide open side kicks for the second and final time. You guys, when it beeps again, doing booty kicker jacks, one of my absolute favorite, excuse me. That is where our hands are doing jumping jacks, as they frequently do, and yet our lower body is doing booty kickers. Thinking about moving at a pace that is right for you. Do you notice how often I use that word right, meaning correct, as opposed to just being right-handed like I am? But when we think about what is right for us, what is correct for us, it means that we are using our own judgment. Here we go with those booty kicker jacks. Hands doing jumping jacks, even though there's no jumping. Like the entire intro, when I tell you about eating the right number of calories, getting the right amount of sleep, drinking the right amount of water. Yes, there's a number that is probably correct for you. By the way, when it beeps again, we're gonna do letter X's. Dumbbells in your hands here. Core is pulled in nice and tight, feet about hip width apart. We're gonna make the top half of the letter X. Oh, you might need to drop your weights, totally okay. And then the bottom half of the letter X. In both instances, we're really thinking about squeezing from those nice big muscles right in the middle of your back. Using your biggest muscles for most of the work is going to get you the most fitness gains. And it kind of helps with weight loss too. When we build our big muscles, make them nice and efficient, help them work better, and even gain some muscle tone when it beeps again. Of course, we're doing those booty kicker jacks for our second time. That, my friends, muscle is metabolically active, which means that it's burning more calories. Now, that is truly the slowest way to lose weight, and I know that if you are following my 5-0 method, your results may vary, absolutely. Some of you lost 1 pound in the first 2 months. Some of you have lost 5 pounds a month. Some of you have lost anything above, beyond, below, in between. Here we go with those letter X's for the second and final time, and when it beeps, we are done, but we are not finished. My friends, I've got a built-in finisher, of course. Another pair of exercises. We're gonna be doing punch down tap outs, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna punch down with our hand and tap out with that same side foot. The thing about how fast or how slow you lose weight, when you know what's right for you, you have taken in information and then you have decided for yourself how this fits in your life. The thing about making something fit in your life, here we go with punch down tap outs, is it might not be exactly what I tell you. And it might not be the fastest way to lose weight, but it is the way that is right for you. When it's right for you, it fits in your lifestyle. It feels helpful, it feels good, it feels doable, it feels sustainable, it feels like something that you could do. Here we go with press up side kicks. So you're gonna press up while the opposite side kicks out. Really take your time here. This is our finisher. Really thinking about getting that biceps all the way up next to your ear. Really thinking about having your core pulled in tight. Let's see if we can hang for a second or two in that balanced position. Doing such a good job. When it beeps again, we're gonna do this pair one more time. Doing those punch down tap outs. My friends, taking the responsibility of knowing what's right for you is the thing that changes your weight loss. It really, really is. When you make it yours, it is yours forever. Here we go with those punch down tap outs. Second and final time. Hey, speaking of final time, you guys, this is the 5th workout in this 5-day series, and it's number 15 of an eventual 65 for the year 2022. Here we go with those press up side kicks for the final time. That means that, oops, I went the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Hey, I know what's right for me. Sometimes my body thinks it knows what's going on, but my brain has to remind it, no. What's right for me is to go across my body because it's a little bit more challenging. You guys, what's right for you isn't always objectively like right or perfect. Making mistakes is right for you. On this journey, sometimes things are gonna feel like they're going wrong, and it's always right for you. There's something to learn, there's something to do, and there's something to be finished. You guys, here's what I was saying. So tomorrow, you can come back to number 11. Let's go ahead and do some arm circles with some tappers here to cool this down. You can come back to number 11 and do this 5-day series again and again and again until we have our next 5-day series in 4 more weeks, because that's how it goes. 5 pounds down every 4 weeks. I have lots of other choices for you if you would like to choose other ones. Basically, almost anything with a number is going to be a weight loss workout. If it's not a weight loss workout, during the intro I say, hey, we're doing body shaping. That means that it's not a weight loss workout. But anything else that has a number on it, you can swap in, swap out. You know what's right for you. Every single exercise video in this series and in all of my other series are meant to be repeated. They're meant to come back to again and again because they're all just right. Let's open it up for you, my friends. Close it up, give yourself a hug and a nice big pat on your back. Oh my gosh, didn't that feel lovely today? I love an efficient workout like that. I love getting cardio, I love getting strength, I love getting balance work. I love exercising. That's what's always right for me. You guys, thank you so much for working out with me this week, this month, this year, this day, this everything. I so appreciate your company. Make sure before you go that you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.